a minute of this, and it was literally like 60 seconds, a minute into it, and the buzzer went. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So, but for those of you that have done, well, for those of you that have been on live, you'll have seen that happen. But when you're actually on a one-to-one Zoom with me, that happens so much, like the interference. So, and it, because we're leading up to the eclipse on Tuesday, which was what we're starting to talk about, that's going to happen. But yeah, you couldn't really write it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, of all the times, why write when I pick up the phone to do this? Did that go? Because it was Amazon, but I'd already had stuff delivered, so it was like, usually it all comes together. But anyway, whatever. So you could have some kind of unexpected communication out the blue. And also the other thing that I thought was really cool in my guides, right, is God in my guides, is like, I was like, what's with grabbing all these like extra romantic cards, right? Like I kind of, I always kind of lean towards these mermaidy ones, or like any kind of mermaid kind of, what, just dolphins and shit like that, when it's because it's Pisces season, water, but it's also Cancer moon, right? And it's basically a lot of water, right? But I was like, what's with getting these? And then when I looked at astrology, I was like, oh, right, it's, Mercury is, so it's Mercury retrograde is conjunct Venus in Pisces. So that is, well, very romantic, but it depends. Like, I suppose it just depends what is going on in your life. Like that, just what I've been saying, like, like about a month leading up to this, is because it's a Mercury retrograde, like conjunct Venus, like that screams like some people could be making big, huge mistakes right now. Like, I mean, so sorry, just call a spade, but it's true. Like that could be like rose tinted glasses. And then when Mercury goes direct in 3 weeks, but really it'll be when it gets in April, I suppose. So would it be like the 11th or something? Just before my birthday, it would be like out the shadow of it. But then, as I've explained, then we'll be going into Venus retrograde. So yeah, it's just, this is like really weird territory for love, basically, because it really depends on who you are, what's going on in your life, what part of the timeline you're out on, all this kind of shit. I mean, that always stands, but typically speaking, like if you're in a good place and if you're in a great relationship, Venus conjunct Mercury is very romantic. Like that's kind of like real kind of Valentine's romantic energy. You know what I mean? It's like, because Mercury is communication and Venus is love. So yeah, love in words. It's a great time to pour your heart out, express your love, especially because specifically today, the Pisces sun, very romantic and dreamy, very like, reminds me of like poetry and singing love songs and all of that, and mystical as well. You know what I mean? And the like fated and destined love. That's Pisces kind of energy too. But the Cancer moon is feelings. So yeah, an outpouring of feelings. So like, whether you're expressing the outpouring of feelings to someone you trust or someone you love, it depends, whether you're talking about someone you love or you're talking to the person you love. It's all very emotional energy. Provided you stay grounded, because that I pulled that for Ricky Mon. But which is actually quite hard to stay grounded in this energy, if I'm honest. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it is for me. I don't know about you guys, but I feel way more grounded today. But it's just, I was like, I mean, it is kind of funny, but I was just like, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? I never watch Friends anymore. I don't really want to get into that, actually. I'm just going to quickly get into it because my guides have been talking to me about stuff like this in my dreams, and I'm like, it just feels like Groundhog Day. Well, not really Groundhog Day. It feels like deja vu, because I have spoke like this over the years when I thought I was needed for all the people that were going to be in shock. And it wasn't nearly the amount that I was expecting to be at the time years ago. But what my guides were saying to me is, I think I know that's going to happen now. So I'm just going to say a wee cryptic kind of message that some people are going to get it, some people aren't. Depends what you're opening your third eye to. Depends what you're opening your actual eyes to as well. You know what I mean? Like whether people are taking it seriously or not. But see, when I'm talking about, like, anyone that knows me from when I was younger, like, I was the biggest Friends fanatic going, like, like, when my bedroom got flooded when I lived with mum and dad, that's when I became an adult, like, abruptly, because I had to move out because the room was tiny and the room was wrecked. And like I've always said, it was one of the best things that could have happened to me, because otherwise I would have been living with my mum and dad right up into my probably, like, I don't know about now, but definitely into my mid-30s. Like, whereas at this point it was actually, I was 22. So do you mean, if you considering all the difficulties, I don't like any of the other words, but considering all the difficulties I've got, that's really nothing short of amazing and a miracle that I managed to do that. Because a lot of people having all the difficulties that I've got, you can be very, very attached and, well, codependent with your mum and dad, and just you wouldn't be able to survive. And I mean, just being totally blunt, I would say I've managed it because, although I've lived away from my mum and dad the whole time since then, they've always, they've been very supportive wherever I am, whatever. So I'm very grateful and lucky in that way. But anyway, the whole point of me was, so I mean, that could be relevant to whatever we're going to be bringing in here, because I'm just going to do, you know what I mean? I was going to put the timer. I'm just going to do. This is basically a divinely timed, spontaneous message, so it's going to resonate with whoever it resonates with, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, kind of thing. But also, this is, I'm mixing it with the Venus and Pisces message for divine feminine, but it can also be masculine's feelings. It kind of feels like it's more lean towards masculine too, but we'll see when we get into this. And also, what else was I going to say? No, just, yeah. So it's just, I was going to say Friday is about Venus and love, but that's why I do that on the Friday. So that's quite funny. That shows you that's another element. That's how spaced out you can be. Like, I was just phoning up the bank there, paying something, and I kept putting in my PIN and it was saying it was wrong. And then when I spoke to the woman, I said the exact same thing and it was right. And I was like, that's exactly what I was just putting in. And I was like, oh God, I can't be bothered with this. And I said, I think this is just the energy. And she was like, no, it really is. And then I was explaining about Mercury retrograde. But yeah, that's the other, that's the shadow side of it. It's confusion, it's illusion, it's very sleepy energy. It's, like I said, I'm not a fan of this combination. I was feeling that yesterday for collective energy. I'm not feeling it so much now, but I can pick up on energy before it happens. So basically, if you are feeling very down and depressed and, like, fed up, like, just know that is this combination. Like, Pisces Sun, Cancer Moon. Pisces is burnout, exhaustion, at your fucking wit's end, like I give up kind of, which can also be I surrender, which is different. I surrender, I let go and let God. And Cancer Moon is like, can be as dark as like depression, like sadness, doom and gloom, quite moany, that kind of energy. This is all the shadow side of it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, like I said already, I often do the shadow and then I do the light. Like I'd already explained, it's actually really quite lovely energy if you're not feeling that. Personally, what I'm feeling in myself today is like I'm sitting up till like 3 in the morning watching chick flicks, right? And then I'm getting up at like, well, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'll go get like I go through and I get my electrolytes, because I'm like, I'm not going to be getting up for ages, so I need more than just like water. Do you know what I mean? And then I go back to bed. Do you know, obviously I'll have a pee and then I go back to bed, and then it's like, and then I'm not getting up till like later. So it's already like right now I'm looking at the clock and it's like 5 to 4. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a bit weird. But I've needed it. Like, and like I was just saying to my mum there, I was like, and my mum knows I said that. I was like, I bet you I'm going to be feeling better as soon as it gets to 3 weeks, not 2 weeks, because 3 weeks is a soul retrieval. And look, I've got through this without coughing once. So that's why I was saying to you, though, like, that's not the normal flu. I've been going through a massive transformation. Like, I'm not coming back the same. Like, we never are after, like, oh, what if I just went back? I can feel it shift in me. So You know, some of you might have been shifting along with me, going through something there too, but I know I certainly have. So I'm just saying it, that I feel if you haven't, you're going to go through it. I feel a lot of you are going to go through this quite soon, and then it like over Aries season. But anyway, right, let's get into this. So yeah, so before I thought this was quite funny. So before because what was I watching last night? I watched She's the Man Last. I hadn't watched that for ages. I love that. And then actually, because in that's really centered around, you know, the big footballer guy is like, you know, not like behind closed doors, he's not who he appears to be. Do you know, like he's quite emotional and stuff like that. So that actually could fit with this kind of stuff. Not bad to look at either, guys. It's Channing Tatum in the younger days, just saying. But and then it's funny too. It's just easy to watch. And then actually, if you think about it, there's a lot of confusion, illusion in that too, because it's called She's the Man because she's dressing up as her brother because they wouldn't let her play football as a girl. That's the whole point of that film. And then that's how she gets to see the more sentimental side of the roommate because he's actually thinking she's the brother. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, she's like opening up and talking like about feelings and stuff. So, but yeah, what did I watch before that? Oh, I can't, that shows you how good it is if I can't even remember. I really actually can't remember at all. Do you know what? I don't know. Maybe I was just watching the telly stuff. I can't remember what I watched before that, but I'm sure I did watch something. But the night before that, I watched Bedazzled, right? And I watched that not long ago, last year sometime. And some of the things in that are crazy, like because you know all that's about the devil, and there's so many stuff in that it's they're mocking you. It's totally it is the truth. Particularly, there's a bit about when he's like, "Oh yeah, you're really the devil, right enough. Well, I'll make a wish," and then he takes a piss and he's like, "Oh, I'll get a McDonald's in," and he walks out and what is it he actually says? He says something like, "Oh yeah, it proves that you're the devil," but that's not a joke. If you know, you know. I'm not even getting into that one either. But aye, definitely. There's basically it's quite interesting because this is very hidden energy. Like Pisces is the hidden, and so is Cancer Moon because it's a hidden part of the chart. It's hidden. Well, Cancer's trauma as well, the 4-5. So yeah. So and anyway, look what happened. I started saying about friends, and then I moved away from it. Basically, it's the same thing. I'm talking cryptically because I don't want to put some people into like kind of like what the hell, and you know what I mean. But it's kind of if you're finding stuff about some of your beloved, you know, TV shows and actors and actresses, and you know, obviously you can see other things that are coming out in the news. But that it's going to get a whole lot worse than that. Now I know there's loads of people you watching that are like, Claire, I found that out like years and years ago, or a decade ago, or whatever. Everyone finds all this stuff out at different times, right? And although I've known about all this for years now, right? Like I'm not ignorant to the fact. I do remember what I felt like the first time the veil was pulled away from some of the people that I, you know, thought were amazing actors and actresses and singers and whatever. And it is you'd think, oh, it's a bit much, that'd be devastating, but it really can be, you know, if you're kind of like, how did I not see this before? But that's what I'm kind of saying about Friends. Like I'm just saying personally for me, that was like quite a head fuck for me because I was such a big fan. And I actually boycotted watching it for years. And that's what I'm saying. It was kind of interesting that I even allowed myself to watch the end of that episode. But I thought I have to get I found it on the lobster episode. But yeah, just generally what I'm saying is if you're finding out things are freaking you out and you're like, what the hell? Like, for instance, Oprah. I'm just going to say Oprah. I've been saying that for years. You know, a lot of people in some of these business groups that I was like her, I was like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Nobody could see the truth. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fucking going on about somebody being amazing when it's quite the opposite. Like, that's going to be when all of that comes to the light in the public. There's a lot of people that's heads are going to be all over the place because if you've been thinking somebody's like this fucking saint and then they're not, it's and there's anyway. So I don't know why this has went into this that much, but it has. So it is what it is. I'm not going to start again because it's. But yeah, you might. This is my fuck this card, but it's interesting. Like, let's get back to that's just some of the collective stuff that's obviously coming in, right? Because, like I said, I feel I have been made to have this flu. Sorry, I just burped there, but it's no wonder with what I'm talking about. It makes me feel sick. But clearing energy, it's like I think I've been kept away from all of this because while all that was breaking out in the news and it was really heightened, if I had been on the live streams, it would have been all I was going on about, right? And that's not good for my soul because I've already went through all of that myself, and you know the shock of my soul, and it's like I can be here to support other people that are in shock about whatever you're finding out, but I'm here to keep people in the light. But I am also about being real and helping you with the shadow as well. So all I'm basically saying on that is if you're in shock about some of the people that you've respected in the public eye in whatever field and you can't get your head around some of the stuff that you're finding out about them, I think it would be wise to book a session and we can, I can help you get your head around this stuff. It's part of awakening, but anyway, we'll leave that there. But it must be quite important for me to spoke for that long. But yeah, this is quite funny, right? When I stopped watching the films, I was about ready to go to bed. I thought I'm just going to break the tarot card, and I didn't shuffle. I just sort of broke it, picked it up, and I was asking like, right, where am I at? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I picked that, and I was like, oh my god, that is totally like, because this is a fuck this card. Like, I'm walking away. This is just like I'm moving on. This is doing my nothing, right? So, and it's not always a woman, it can be a wee man walking away with a bag. So it's just, she's just like, look, but this isn't always fuck this. It's I'm moving on. Like, I've been stuck in the same bit. I'm moving on towards a brighter future. I might not know what that brighter future holds, but I'm moving on. I'm moving towards the sun. I'm going. And again, it's like I like this to do with the beach and the seashells and everything, because obviously I'm very much about the beach. So this is what I feel. Although I picked this this morning, in the wee hours of this morning, I feel this is the overall divine feminine energy, but I will shuffle them again. But anyway, the Lord will keep you from harm. He'll watch over your life. That was on the top. Let's see what another one. I just like to do these to protect energy, especially how much I've been speaking of the fucking devil. God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. So the 19th of April could be significant, the day after my birthday, the last of Aries season. So you see, I think that's confirmation about a lot of you are going to go through a huge clear-in during Aries season. So do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Philippians 4:6. So 6th of April there as well. So, yeah, but anyway, that's why I've got all these romantic cards. And this is, and then I just looked at 1804 when I said that. Right, so then this was like that, and I just got led to pick it up when I was sitting here myself, and I was like, right, people need that. When you detach yourself from awareness of your body in the physical world, you become ungrounded. Although it's pleasant to float off heavenward, and this is Pisces energy, we do a lot, your attention and work are needed upon earth. We're helping you balance the spiritual material so you can enjoy a fulfilling earthly life. So basically, that actually kind of makes sense, that card now, why I just went on about all that other stuff. If you're not going through that bit yet, you're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? If you are, you're going to totally get it. Like, you could feel like, what the hell am I even living in? Do you know what I mean? That's when people start talking about, like, we're in a simulation and stuff. Like, you can see why it feels like that. Do you know what I mean? Because we are. But anyway, so, right, let's now shuffle the tarot. So, I'll put that down. It'd be so funny if look, that's interesting. I'm sure that look what's behind her. 78 cards in the tarot. So look, this can be the divine feminine's ready to move on, just as the masculine's ready to come and talk. Because that does look like, even their hair colorings looks like they're, twin flames. You don't need to look like each other, but that is kind of funny. But we don't know, because we can only see the backs of their head. We don't know what's going on in these people's minds. But that is the Three of Wands before the Four of Wands. And then that's why I say 1804, because 1804 is my birthday, which leads to the Four of Wands. Somebody did not have a victory in some kind of family situation, 10 of Pentacles, Someone could have got into a committed situation or a work situation, something to do with money anyway, that was not a victory. And it could have been through black magic, spell work, trickery. Someone from the past that's left them a wounded warrior. Someone from the past that's left a wounded warrior, but I'm also reading that as somebody can't move on from somebody from the past and they feel like they've went through the wars. Your luck is changing. It's not the end of a cycle with this person, but they're stuck in their head spying. The blocks are being lifted. They feel out in the cold. They want to come forward and make their move. I also see that as playing games, but they feel like you're guarded and single. Fed up, depression. That's the energy what I described to this day. Regret. Someone's got their shit together. They're moving towards you. That's a secret. See what I mean? As you're moving away. They didn't give equally in the past. Coming out of Hanged Man. Don't want to fight anymore. Been in hermit mode, healing. Channeling someone coming in now, though. I'm coming in fast. You're my star. You've guided me out the light. That's nice. I said that in my Twinflame numbers. I don't know if he would say that, but I did just do that. Look, I've been betrayed by about look at all these fucking 10 people that have stabbed the stuck the knife in, stuck with arrows. Betrayal. Yep, they lied. I'm gonna tell you. Oh fucking hell, oh my god, you know what I mean? So again, that could be somebody telling you everything that's happened and somebody being like, oh my god, do you know what I mean? Or this is the sleepless nights they worry about, is this ever going to happen? They held their love back from their Two of Cups. There were secrets, sneakiness, shady behaviour. If I could only get my way, or it's a secret, it's like, if I could only make my way back to there. How do I make my way back to my Two of Cups? I'm in hell right now. I'm going through the death of an ego. Which, that's when I started talking about Bedazzled. Yeah, look, I made a bad investment. Or it was a bad investment to not invest with my Two of Cups, my true love. I was going to say Two of Cups and true love, and I said my true of love, whatever I said. That was quite funny, my Two of love, whatever. Yeah, look, someone's heartbroken over a Two of Cups that they betrayed, but now they want to come forward to give you the world after going off with a third party, or they want to come in and celebrate. There was confusion, illusion over a third party, or third parties confused. It could have been a Queen of Pentacles. That's my money grabber card. Someone's lost in a daydream about, I give this offer, do I not? Is this person going to hear me out? I was a King of Wands in reverse. I went the wrong way. I was a King of Swords in reverse. Basically, this person wasn't very nice. I'll just leave it at that. But King of Wands, King of Swords in reverse. That's pretty nasty. Yeah, coming out of rest and recuperation towards their Empress. Their Empress, their Two of Cups. They're happily ever after. Their Ten of Cups. Whoever is making sense of this, if someone's seeing you as the Two of Cups, their Empress, and their Ten of Cups, I mean, you couldn't, this person's not confused anymore. Like, that's pretty amazing. I didn't mean to use the tarot for that long, but I got into it there, as you can see. Well, I'll trust that message needed to be heard for, but let's just, because that card is still sticking out there, right? This is obviously going to be longer, but whatever. It's just because I'm not even that geeky about the processing. I'm just trying to be, because I do notice it's like, because of when I've been off and I've been doing it less, I'm like, what the hell? Like, nobody's watching it because it's not processing. And then I don't think it even notifies you, but I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to be back at it next week properly anyway, because I've not coughed once through this. So I'm just cracking up. That is me. So to bring it back, generally, I just think Divine Feminine. It'd be interesting if some of you well, actually, I'm always talking to Divine Masculine, but anyway, I really need to get away, like, you know. And it's like, what I've been finding is I'm trying to get away and I can't. Like, it's like I was maybe going to see my friend tomorrow if I couldn't, you know, because when I was meant to go 3 weeks ago, and I thought, shit, I bet she's going to be busy now. She is, so I couldn't do that. And then I was going to go away to London, and, you know, we're trying to work out our calendars for that with my cousin that was going to, and that wasn't working out. And I was like, oh my God, I just like it. So do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the way that I'm like, I just need to get out of here. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, see, it's like, oh, am I turning into the runner? But you know what I mean? It's just like, I just need to get out. Like, it's like, but that makes sense. When I've been stuck in the house for 3 weeks, that does make sense. And the beach ain't going to cut it for me, although she is walking the beach. But anyway, I was just speaking to my mum there before I done this, and we're going to have a wee day trip away quite soon. So, like, very soon. So that's settled me down a little bit, because it was just, you know, I'm like, God's sake, why am I not allowed to? But it'll be funny if that doesn't happen. You know, that's not just Mercury retrograde. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. I'll trust it's for a reason. Right, what do we need to know? These can sometimes be quite shady. I didn't mean what I said, but that came out in the verse. So somebody's standing by what they said. Now, was it good, bad, and different? We don't know. It's different for different people. I can see myself with you in the future. Somebody can't see what the future holds. I feel lost without you. So I would say this is the divine feminine message, but remember, this can make sense to masculine's feelings as well. I feel this is someone's masculine saying, I meant what I said, but I don't know what the future holds because this is in reverse. But all I know is I feel lost without you. I have worked out I chose a karmic soulmate over this Two of Cups connection. It was someone I was meant to spend time with, but I wasn't meant to stay with them forever. And I know that now. I'm channeling some of the masculines. I will find my way back to you one day after thinking that this twin flame stuff was a load of crap. That's what I'm getting from twin flame in the verse. But will you hear me out? Or somebody led me to believe that you were a false twin flame. Like that you were saying you were that and you weren't, and now I realise you actually are. Because I now know what the twin flame journey is. Wow, this is actually that's actually quite nuts that Twin Flame has came out and Twin Flame Journey. Let's put, I think I'll do that, and then and the thing is, I've had these cards for years, but they're always cutting about in all different places. I don't use them that much, but I was led to them. Right, anyway, I'll screenshot that. Right, so I thought it was going to be quite a miserable message. So I don't know, you tell me whether you think this is a miserable message, but just because this is not the cheeriest of sort of placements, but these cards are miserable. So if a good one comes out, that's a miracle. Let's see. What's the tea here? What's going on with some of the people that are going to resonate with this, or a collective? It depends. There we go. Oh my God, that is so scarily in line with what I'm saying about that. See how I don't like to say see, but this is what I said the other day. The collective, like majority of divine feminine energy, definitely with where I'm at, or, you know, it does seem to be this kind of energy. Like, look, healed, not hooked, freedom, detachment, clarity. Fuck this, I'm moving on, you know. And remember, I channeled that as well. She doesn't even know what that means, right? None of it, I don't know what that means. She doesn't know what that means. He doesn't know what that means. But both people are moving forward. So because you've detached and you're healed but not hooked, this person, it's freeing this person as well. Your twin, it's not just this person, it's your twin flame. So now that feels like it needs to be where is that twin? Where have I just, what's on the bottom though? Oh, look, in their head, overthinking, stressed out, spinning scenarios. That feels like the masculine energy. You chose them, third party betrayal, replacement. So remember, this was on the bottom, right? And then look, used, then discarded on the bottom. I feel in the past, the feminine's been in this, right? You've chose them, the masculine's in their head wondering how to come forward to the feminine. Unless that is the ones that they actually have chose the karmic soulmate and they're still in that part of it. That is possible for some, unless your twin flames already went through that. But now you're healed and you're not hooked, and you're like, right, they chose them, so I'm walking away. That makes sense. And that's what I say all the time. Like that is what if you're the masculine, you're leaving people thinking that. So either that is the actual case, or that's the risk you're taking. So it just depends how this is fit. Right, wait a minute. Twin flame journey. Right. All about the thumbnail. Yeah. I'm going to take that as a screenshot. Right. But that's really quite crazy though, because that, like I said, there's a lot of horrible cards in that deck, but that does really. And then look, I can even see. Look, that is exactly what it is. I know what that card is. Look, it's the one with the guy smiling, new life, and she's sad. In the past, somebody's left you like that. Someone's moved on with someone else. You never really loved me. Truth revealed. Again, that might be a bit strong for some people. It really depends what your dynamics were, but truth revealed, illusions shattered, heartbreak. In the past, somebody's moved on. It's looked like they've not gave a fuck, right? And now it's like they're now understanding the twin flame journey as you're like, fuck this, moving on. I'm having a new life. So it kind of makes me want to laugh in a way, but it's when you're in it, it's not really very funny, is it? So, but let's see. Oh man, secrets. I haven't told you everything, and this person still doesn't want it because it's in reverse. This is the same energy from the ones I've been doing. New beginnings, not really sure about a new beginning and starting over because that's in reverse. Try again, new direction. It's very Mercury retrograde, actually. Very Mercury retrograde. Not sure I want to talk because that's in reverse. I want to call you and hear your voice, but it was in reverse. Guilty. I feel pain from the damage I've caused, but that was in reverse. So I did say, like, it's kind of, some of this is empowering, I'd say, for the feminine. Some of this is quite annoying for the feminine about the masculine, is what I would say, because I'm picking up on some of the masculines that might actually still be in a confusion illusion with a karmic person. And they've not went through the bit where they realise yet what's going on. Or I'm just reading the past about it. It's all very Mercury retrograde confusing. Yeah, look, I don't want forgiveness because I don't think I've done anything wrong. They're not in the guilt of it yet. I'm struggling to get over the past yet, but that's what they're telling you. That's when those cards are like, look, yeah, lost, grief, depressed, but that's in reverse. This is someone that's still living out the other part of their life, the karmic lesson. So I would say, remember how I described it? Like some people could be loved up in an illusion with the wrong person right now. So sorry if that's your person, but that is the message I'm getting from these messages. Like, yeah, with a soulmate in reverse, full mate. Because I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound right. Fucking fallen angel. Actually, I get it. And when I'm talking about Bedazzled, right? Watch it if you haven't seen it, because there's a brilliant bit. I've shared the video from it before. The clip where he's talking to someone in jail who's basically meant to be God. And because he's like really humble, and when he says, "Are you?" he just says, "Just a friend, just a really good friend." But he says something like, of course, I can't remember what he says, but he says something really profound. If I can find I'll share it. I'll share it in the community tab, or I'll share it in the comments. But yeah, I think a few people's masculines are still maybe in a karmic illusion. Whether that is just stuck in a situation where they know they're not happy, or love goggles for the wrong person, who knows? But there's something going on. I can tell the energy. Sacred, look, they're in the oh my god, what is this energy? That's why I must have said that. I feel this message is going to be a bit depressing, and it started to go depressing when I said it. Look, someone's in a sacred dream with the wrong person. Someone's with the wrong soulmate. When I say wrong, you're meant to go through that to learn the lesson, but this is all coming out reverse. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it's truly sacred, but it's not. It's of the devil. And that's why I'm saying that's what Bedazzled is about. It's Liz Hurley looking really hot and everything, really, and she keeps tricking him and tempting him. And when I watched that before last year, I knew, I mean, I'd seen it when I was younger too, but I knew they were saying that's the karmic energy. Do you know what I mean? It's like making you all these false promises, luring you in, because the whole thing in that film is he's wanting to be with this woman at work that she's not even recognised him at all. Like she's not looking at him twice at all. So he keeps trying to change himself to get her. And there's a really clever bit where he wishes that he's married to her, but all he wishes is that he's married to her. So when he gets his wish, they're in another country. They don't, so they're not speaking, American. They're speaking, I think, Spanish or something. And then he's like, "What the fuck? I didn't ask to be, Spanish." And that's not a big deal. Like, so what if you're with the person you love? It's the fact that she's cheating with the gardener or something, or I think it's the gardener or something. And then when he's like, "What the hell?" Like, like, I wanted a new life, but I didn't want a new life like this. Like, I didn't want her to be my wife, but she's cheating on me. But then Liz Hurley, who's the devil, is like, all you said was you wanted to be married to her. You didn't say anything about a happy marriage, or you know what I mean? So I know when I watch that bit, that's the point. It's like, be careful what you wish for, because you might get who looks good on paper, or all that glitters is not gold. But then when you've got that sacred, well, not so sacred union, you're stuck in a bit of a nightmare with someone that doesn't respect you. You know what I mean? Or traps, because that's what came out. So anyway, could we try and get some of the more romantic energy of people that aren't in it, but for whatever reason, that's a message that came out. If Distorted Feminine comes out now, I'm not going to be surprised. Guys, that's one of those moments where I freak myself out. What are the chances? Right. So, because I mean, you all saw that I was saying if Distorted Feminine comes out now, before I saw the card, so I could feel it was going to come out. Someone's working out they're with the Distorted Feminine, or they're gonna. If they've not worked out yet, that's the good news. They're going to work out. Holy shit! I'm in a union with the Distorted Feminine. Like, this is not my divine feminine. This is not where I'm meant to be. Look, and then look how it's coming under that. New life begins. Somebody chose the new life with the Distorted Feminine and left the divine feminine feeling in heartbreak. But now you're healed, and now this is kind of fun. Now you're healed and not hooked, and you're detached. You're like, oh well, that's fine. They chose the Distorted Feminine. I hope they're happy. You're clearing your energy. But also the other thing I was getting from that, this person thought you were a Distorted Feminine. They thought you were a karmic energy or tricking them in some kind of way. And because that's in reverse, they're realising that's not the case. I cannot believe I said that and that came out. Again, I can, because if you're new, it's God and the guy speaking through me, but that is a bit nuts. Emotional, there's no emotional freedom in the karmic situation, or in the past there wasn't. It was blocking their manifestation. This person, so I feel this is some people's past. This is now going in, this is the people where this is some of their past, but just be aware that some people are still in that. And again, some of you will know because you might be the person that's in it, whether you're a man or a woman. But now this is when you get out of it. You've got your inner peace, you're enough, you're healing after a toxic karmic situation. Let's just see. What was that situation? I never meant enough, unseen, unchosen, rejected. So because I'm asking about the karmic situation, in the karmic situations that some people chose, they felt unseen, unchosen, and rejected. And that makes sense of what I'm saying about that scene in Bedazzled when he gets his wish, but she's like, she's still not interested. And then at one point she actually starts saying, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he got his wish, but it's like he's got the girl he wanted, but he's got a girl that hates him and treats him like crap. Do you know what I mean? So change, that could easily be like wanting the guy you want, but then he treats you like crap and cheats on you. So it's, be careful what you wish for. That's why I say all the time, don't just blindly wish for your twin flame to come back. Be careful what you wish for. Specifically pray and set intention that if it's the right time for me and this person to come back in each other's life, even just for a conversation, then God will allow it. That's kind of things that I say. I'm like, if I'm meant to reconnect, well, with him to talk, then if he manages to get to me to talk, then I know it's okay. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I wouldn't anyway. I mean, Pisces is confusion illusion. So it's like I always say, I'm not a fan of lying, but coyote medicine, you have to use coyote medicine to protect yourself and others at times. I wouldn't tell you even if I had, but I mean, just keeping it real here. Clearly he's not allowed to talk to me because we haven't spoke. So, and I know that when it's time, we'll be allowed to. So no matter what's going on. Truth, or it's like this, he just quite simply doesn't fucking want to. And I mean, he's been in that place for quite a while, so maybe he still is, and that's what I'm saying. That's why you do have to be like, fuck this, who knows? I'm not wasting any more time, because what if they're not changing and growing? I don't know. They've not let me know. That's quite brutally honest, but yeah, truth hurts, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Reality check, wake up call, clear eyes. That's quite funny the way I said it. Right, let's end with one of these nice ones. My energy, the space, yes, exactly. The space between worlds, that's what I was just about to say. My energy will be completely different tomorrow. Not only because that will be 3 weeks from the day of when I got ill. So for me, that is when I was going through this transformation. So I would say that is me. I've I've went through the soul retrieval, which never stops. By the way, can I just point out, if you never had a soul retrieval, it's not like you get one and you're done. Like, once you start doing soul retrieval, you have to keep doing lots of it to be empowered. So that is just another reminder to people that, you know, if you've only ever had like one or two sessions with me and then you've stopped and you're not doing too good, that's because you've not continued the healing process. Now, and just to be clear here, I don't like let people come willy-nilly. Do you know what I mean? Like, usually people leave like at least a few months in between. Like, basically people have to, I basically, people have to leave at least a month. But even if that wasn't my rule, things happen that things will just get in the way that we won't be able to talk until at least 3 weeks, right? Because that is a soul retrieval. But there's definitely some of you that do need to take that on board, that if you started that process of healing yourself and then you've just halted it, you're going to feel a bit weird, because it's like you've opened Pandora's box and then you've not continued. So just please notice when you're being called to do that further work again, you know. Yeah, it's just, it is important, you know what I mean? Because some people don't even realize that I am a shaman. You know, I'm not like, reading cards and everything's great, right? But it's like, and being a medium's great, and being a Reiki master's great, all these other, being a hypnotherapist is great, all these other things that I am a coach. But the shaman part is the bit you have to take on board. When you start unpacking that stuff, it's important to have your, you know, that's to have your energetic hand holding, and to recognize the bit that you can do yourself and the bit that you need the support to eventually fly, and, you know, have that, but, you know, have that under your belt that you can handle it yourself. But it's, yeah, so I don't know who's need to hear that, but someone needs to hear it. So but yeah, because it's Leo moon tomorrow as well, so isn't that, I love that by the time it gets to 3 weeks being up, it's my favorite moon sign as well. I'm going to be in a much better, but I actually feel, I'm feeling an alright energy today, despite some of this message not being so cheery. But hey, I'm detached from the message. I'm like, fuck this, I'm detaching from it. It's not my message, or even if it is, I don't fucking know. So do you know what I mean? I'm like, like, basically I'm in that energy, right? Because Pisces is about surrender. Let go and let God. Stop holding on so tight. It stops things from coming to you. When you let go, things can move and shift and change. And actually, right, this is a brutal example, but I have given it loads of times over the years, and they're reminding me of it. If you've ever seen Closer, right, it is very vulgar. The language that they use is disgusting. And I'm not just talking about swearing, it's very dirty, disgusting. It's not even funny. Like, the things they say is really horrible. Like, some people will be rushing to go and get it now, but it's very old. But this is quite a dramatic scene, right? Where, spoiler alert, look away if you don't hear us. But basically, it's fully cheating, right? That film is just cheating left, right, and centre, right? Hurting each other, and very cruel, and, you know, men hurting women, women hurting men, all this. Because it is Jude Law, Julia Roberts, Clive Owens. Oh, I'm remembering all their names, and Natalie Portman, right? So, all doing fucking swapsies, from what I can remember of it. But the scene that I always think of when somebody gets to that bit, right, is there's a scene at the end of the film where the guy's just been a total dictator. Like, he's like been swanning off with Julia Roberts, and, like, you know, and I mean, Natalie Portman is gorgeous. I mean, whether she is like a clone or a real person, who knows, guys? But I mean, with all these people, but she is gorgeous, right? I've always thought she is just very unusual looking, very good, and so is Julia Roberts, obviously. But it's kind of like, the point being, it's like right when the guy realizes how in love he is with Natalie Portman. She's just absolutely had enough, and she's like lying on the bed, and she's like just totally like no emotion, right? But then, so that's really the point of why I'm saying that scene. But that scene is way more actually, it's way more abrupt than that. Like I do remember she's like she's then retaliated against him or something. So yeah, so we'll just stop at that bit. You know what I mean? It's well, I hope, you never know how dark some people's situations go, but because it is about that, like it's like she says something like, "Well, I done this," and it's a bit, yeah. If you know, you know. But I'm just more seeing that scene because it's like you've pushed somebody to the point where they're like, you know how you feel, but you've pushed somebody into this like detached kind of, I don't even know, like, do you know what I mean? What am I meant to say? What am I meant to feel? Kind of, it's not a good, it's, you don't want to push somebody at that point, Anyway, quite again, now, I mean, this is the energy. Look, sorrow, this is the energy. So the energy can change, but this is what I'm picking up on today. So I'm going to read this and I'm going to go. So when we look for guidance, we often look for words that clarify, reassure, and help us find our authentic path through the chaos. Which is, again, that film is chaos. That's actually based on a play. But like I said, don't watch that if you don't like vulgar language and sex, but it's more than sex. It's just, and it's, I can't even describe that film. It's more than dirty talk as well. It's really, and if you, every time I talk about that film, I do the same thing. If you can see my face right now, I'm screwing my face up and I'm like, I can't even remember all of it, but I'm just like, that is a bit much. But it's more just the nastiness of it. Do you know what I mean? There's so much nastiness and sneakiness and shadiness, and it's exhausting even thinking of it. So yeah, there's also guidance in the spaces between the words, between each letter, between all the happenings in our life, where there is nothing to be said, where there are no lines to be coloured in, where there's just openness. Those are the times when we need to freestyle. We need to do or not do based on what is happening for us right in the moment. Often there is far less to do than we think. Often we don't need to think. There's a space forming around you now. Sometimes when we sense this subconsciously, that's very Pisces season because that is the 12th house subconscious. We feel exhilarated and excited, anxious and nervous, and not even sure why. That could describe the whole I don't know what comes next thing with the guy and the girl. I don't know where the guys went. That's probably a channel message. I don't know. She's like, I don't know where the guys went, but I'm fucking moving forward because he's fucked off. That's too funny. There's a sense perhaps that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown terrain, or perhaps we're happy to wing it, make it up as we go. Either way, there is space to just be. As a receiver of the yeah, she's like, I'm winging it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what comes next, but I'm not staying stagnant and stuck because who knows if my divine counterpart, my twin flame, is ever coming back. I'm healed, not hooked, and I'm off. That's me when I go off on my wee train journey. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you now or within you, which is definitely what I've just read with both those energies, and so both these energies can be a lot of people, by the way. Within you, you just know that there's a lot of divine presence to be received. It can't be explained really. It happens between the words, and yet without it, there wouldn't be any words, any guidance at all. But also, Pisces Sun is silence, and Cancer Moon is silence. So maybe you need to get still in the silence. This oracle speaks to you. Enter the space and let go, for your time to receive is upon you. Be blessed. That's cryptic. I feel like just before I want to read the last bit, I do want to pull what have we got? Give me one for the masculine. Water, flight, all that water energy I spoke about. Heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, weightlessness. That's crazy. And all the whales are like, whale elder medicine, the codes that are coming in, the new earth codes right now. The masculine could be waking up to their old soul, their elder energy. But look, the burdens are lifting from the masculine. So that kind of fits with the guy that's having the coffee that's about to. See, I do think now that's sticking out, right? And then forget that she's got a sad face. This is what I said the other day. I do think there is a new life beginning for some masculines. But the feminine could still be, some of you could still be in that. Like, Like, I don't know, just no, I was about to like start with, oh, you know what I mean? But sorrow. Like, you're in sorrow. But that's what I mean, it's confusing. I get what they're saying, like, you're not meant to know. Yeah, look, you're not meant to know, right? The moon is confusion, illusion, and it's feminine energy. You're not meant to know. But also farewell to the moon. Farewell to the distorted feminine. The masculine is saying goodbye to the distorted feminine. Possibly a few. Like, well, I didn't mean it like romantically, but you know, that's actually that is going to be a thing for some. Let's face it, because of me quoting closer, 100%. Like, this person could be shutting down the tabs on a few people, but I kind of meant like this could be having to cut out a female friend that isn't really a friend, a family member that's stabbed them in the back, mean to set a boundary, a lover. Different for different people. Basically, it's having to say goodbye a lot of distorted feminines. Farewell to the moon. Appreciate and enjoy the lunar light cycles. But this is actually the feminine's card. I just normally do the feminine then the masculine, but for some reason I have the masculine and the feminine. Also, the 14th and the 17th of March are significant. That's Paddy's Day. Yeah, I think they're just saying, like, look, appreciate and enjoy this, look, the cycle of the moon. We're in eclipse season. Anything is possible. Keep moving forward, looking for more meaning in life, because that's what the Eight of Cups is about as well. And this eclipse is very important for you. Right, now I'm going to read this and then I'm going to go. Did we get, no, let's get a romantic one out of here now. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we're always united. For love transcends space and time, nothing is missing. Oh, that's quite a nice one. And the rest is meant to be a mystery. The rest is still unwritten. Yeah, I'm definitely better because I've not coughed once. Woohoo! Totally, it does fit. It fits with what I said. I knew that this was like to just protect me from the stuff going on in the world. The eastern rise of the time on newborn wings bursts out across lifeless crowd and sings. Yeah, why am I putting that? And sings its climb to heights unknown of beauty, warmth, and power upon its throne to fade against western sky, and only for a moment lie before it takes its course again to breathe once more in heart of a man. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the fuck that means. So if you do, good for you. But yeah, that's perked me up a bit. I'm already feeling very Leo Moon. I'm glad that I haven't coughed once through this. I think I'll film us a wee one for tomorrow. And hopefully, yeah, hopefully I'll be back. I don't know about back. I'm not going to be back to normal because I don't feel the same. I have went through intense light code activation upgrades as rather. I'd rather call it light upgrades than light code it's light code activations, but I'm always going through that. You're always going through that. We're always going through that. This was a light upgrade. I'm definitely coming back upgraded. But I don't know whether you're going to see my face anytime soon. I'll have to decide. I think if you see my face, I might like just film a video on my own. I don't know. I'm extra sensitive. At some point, the sun in Pisces does move into my fifth house, and that's when I'll just suddenly feel more up to it, and then I'll look and I'll be like, oh, that's why. But while it's still in my fourth house, I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? I'm just wanting to hermit. But at least it does appear that I am feeling better. So fucking hell, that was a long journey. But like I'm just so amazed that I'm just so amazed that it's every time it's Mercury retrograde, everyone else is going to be slowing right down. And well, not everyone else. If you've got Mercury retrograde in your chart, you might find that you're suddenly unstuck where everyone else is feeling a bit stuck. Because that's what I'm feeling. Anyway, I'm going to go now. So if you'd like to book a session, I will be back to work next week. I've already got somebody on the eclipse on Tuesday. If you want a mediumship session only, they're available on Monday. But to be honest with you, I might be busy on Monday, so scrap that for this Monday coming. But usually on the other Mondays, that's what I'm planning to do. So yeah, I'll be around. Yeah, I'm sure I could fit somebody else on Tuesday if needed as well. I think by the time it gets into Friday, unfortunately, Friday I'll not be available. So really I can't believe that, but yeah, next week, if you want a session, I would book it. I would try and get another space from when I've not got that client. Yeah, because I've not got that client till tea time, so I could work with someone during the day on Tuesday, and possibly somebody on the Thursday. But that's it, really. I'm around Tuesday, Thursday next week, and then the week after that, beginning the 9th, any of those days are fine. But yeah, but I hope if you've been going through some huge upgrades, or you've had the flu or syndrome flu, and I hope that you're getting your strength back too. But just let this sort of show everyone that I basically did have to surrender to what was happening there, and I do feel like I'm turning the corner. So, and also, can I just say, I done the mediumship Monday. Bear in mind this is now Friday. And I haven't published that because I haven't even watched it back. And it was because I was feeling really fed up and I got really upset. And there was a lot of people in the spirit world around me, like my own loved ones in spirit. And it was all quite emotional. So when I do eventually watch it, I'll publish it if I'm guided to. But it might just go in the membership. So I'm just sort of saying, if people wonder, like, why didn't that appear? But I'm sure nobody's looking for it. But yeah, anyway, see you later.